Hello friends and welcome. I have been looking forward to making this video for actually several months, but I had to wait until now to film it due to some traveling that we've been doing over the last several weeks. But the time has finally come to film this video, and I frankly couldn't be more excited. And that's because I always love sharing information on products that I discover that I have absolutely fallen in love with and that work especially well for those of us over 50. And both the makeup and the fashion that I'll be talking about and demonstrating today certainly do fit this criteria. Before we get things rolling today, I want to say how very much I value and appreciate all of you who are so supportive of this channel and who are also returning today. And I also want to give a warm welcome to those of you who may have come across this channel for the very first time today. My name is Elise, and I'm a professional working makeup artist who loves nothing better than helping those of us over 50 look like the very best version of ourselves. So on this channel, we regularly focus on makeup tips, techniques, and products, as well as overall beauty, style, and a touch of wellness from time to time. So I appreciate your taking the time to be with us today and hope you'll subscribe before you leave. Since I'm wearing one of the fashion items that I wanted to share with you today, I thought we'd start with fashion and then dive into a makeup look that coordinates with what I'm wearing. You know, if I look back over the years and I think about my most cherished and beautiful pieces of clothing that I've worn, not only for special occasions and events, but also just worn to work when I wanted to feel my best, I immediately think of silk. In fact, I still have some beautiful pieces that I've probably had for over 30 years, which I still love wearing. Considering how delicate silk feels, it is amazingly durable. Two of the pieces I still have and love are these lovely charmeuse silk front wrap-tie tops, one in a gorgeous hunter green and the other in silver. This is the beautiful hunter green top, and here's the silver. And another is a 5-piece cream-colored charmeuse silk set that includes a skirt, pants, tank top, tunic-length cardigan, and a blouse that I've worn to several weddings and major events over the years. This set was a great bargain find that I purchased at a Loehmann's store years ago. Does anyone else remember Loehmann's? I guess it ceased operation in 2014, but the Loehmann's bargain basement was certainly a fun place to shop. And I even still have this beautiful green silk Lizwear blouse from Liz Claiborne with 1980s shoulder pads and all. But somehow I cannot get myself to part with this. During the mid-90s, I really enjoyed getting back into sewing and discovered an amazing fabric warehouse store. And when you walked into that fabric warehouse, you immediately saw bolts of fabric stacked floor to ceiling, and it was definitely sensory overload. And when I got to the silk section, I sometimes just couldn't resist touching the silk and imagining various sewing patterns that I might pull from my stash to create a beautiful new silk jacket. This gorgeous fuchsia raw silk fabric was a result of a purchase of one of those warehouse fabric shopping expeditions, and it eventually did become a jacket. So I have to admit that when Wynn from the company LILYSILK contacted me about trying one of their clothing items, I was pretty darn excited. Since I wasn't familiar with LILYSILK, I immediately went to their website to check out their product line. Now, to be honest, I was bowled over. They offer classic apparel designs that are both elegant and timeless. And as someone who has done a bit of sewing, I can tell you that the craftsmanship is truly excellent. You don't find many products today that have French seaming, and both the items that I'll share with you have that beautiful technique. And the range of products they offer is really phenomenal and includes everything from men's and women's apparel to sleepwear, sheets, and bedding sets. They also have scarves, sleep masks, hats and gloves, and even silk hair scrunchies. And this isn't even a complete list of all the products on their site, so I've included a link to their website in the description box below so you can have some fun browsing through their many beautiful collections. But today I want to share with you two of my favorite items that the very kind people from LILYSILK sent my way. So I want to thank both Wynn and Wendy. When I was browsing through their women's apparel section and got to the picture of the gorgeous floral silk blouse that I'm wearing today, it literally took my breath away for several reasons. First, Since I have two different style lavender blazers, I've been searching for a beautiful lavender or purple print top or blouse to wear under them for literally over a year with no success whatsoever. This LILYSILK blouse was exactly what I had been looking for and more. It's lightweight, it's semi-sheer and wrinkle resistant, and it has beautiful balloon sleeves which are elasticized, which can be worn all the way down at the wrist or you can push them up. And it comes with a removable bow that can be worn a number of different ways. Around the neck, as I'm wearing it, or as a headscarf, or even a belt or a handbag accessory. I absolutely adore the elegance of this blouse, how lightweight it is, and the incredible beauty of the print. And by the way, it also comes in two other colors. Multicolored flowers on a black background or a pink and orange flower print. Now I usually wear a size medium in a top, and this blouse is a medium, and it does fit true to size. But all of their women's apparel is available in extra small to extra, extra large sizing. The other top I couldn't resist is called the SOS shirt, which comes in three different colors: navy, light camel, and white. This is a beautifully smooth and glossy charmeuse relaxed fit shirt that looks and feels absolutely luxurious. It's menswear inspired and can be worn buttoned and tucked in or relaxed and untucked. But as you can see, I'm all about the untucked look and especially love wearing it as a jacket. And one of the wonderful things about charmeuse silk, in addition to the gorgeous sheen and feel of the fabric, is that it's breathable and it's an excellent insulator which can keep you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. And the great news is that these items don't have to be dry cleaned, although that certainly is fine to do, but they can be hand washed or machine washed on the gentle cycle in lukewarm water. And I cannot resist sharing a few other beautiful women's clothing items from their website. And since I imagine some of you may not be familiar with this brand, let me share just a few pieces of information that I think you might find especially interesting. They were founded 12 years ago with the mission of bringing the highest quality silk products to the world. All of their products are made from 100% natural mulberry silk, and they use only the highest quality grade 6A long mulberry silk fibers, which are free of any harmful substances. They also work towards zero waste by using fabric remains to make other silk fabrics such as the eye mask and scrunchies so that each piece of fabric is maximized. And the good news is that there are also 2 coupon codes for LILYSILK, which you can also find in the description box, which can be used at checkout to get a really nice discount. And I'm eyeing a few things on the LILYSILK site as potential holiday presents. Now, since I definitely don't want to get any makeup on this blouse, I'm going to quickly change and then be right back. So stay tuned so I can show you how I created today's makeup look to coordinate with my lavender silk blouse from LILYSILK. I've already gone ahead and done my skin prep, applied my face and eye primer, and filled in my brows. So let's go ahead and start with eye makeup, which includes 2 of my newest and favorite makeup items. This All Matte Blends palette from Blend Bunny, and my even newer palette from a makeup brand I'd heard a lot of good things about, but hadn't tried actually until a few days ago. This is a palette from the cosmetics company Glamlite, and it's a collaboration with a YouTuber by the name of Mikayla. And it's their second collaboration, so it's called Part 2. And talk about gorgeous packaging. It was founded by Caribbean immigrant Giselle, who from a very young age was bullied due to her weight. Her dream was to create a cosmetic brand where everyone would feel welcomed, represented, and accepted. The brand's motto is "Beauty isn't a one-size-fits-all." In 2018, she was at her highest weight, but decided that enough was enough, and it was time to stop letting the opinion of others control her. And it was on that very day that her idea for the first food-inspired eyeshadow palette product was born. It was the Pizza Palette. She invested her entire life savings into the production of the palette. It went viral on social media and it sold out within 48 hours. So it's quite a wonderful success story. I'll include links to all the makeup and fashion items that I'll be using and wearing today in the description box below, which you can find by clicking on the word more, which is underneath the video. And when you shop using my links, you really help my channel, which I so greatly appreciate. I'm first going to dip into the Blends palette and apply the white shade, which is called Cream and Sugar, and I'm going to put that all over my eyelids. I love the fact that there's both a white and a black in this palette, so you can lighten or deepen shades. Now, I normally don't go for such a bright white on my lids, but we're going to add something a little bit later which will calm down the brightness of this white. And it's not quite as optic white as it looks like in the palette. Now, just to let you know, in addition to putting eye primer on, I also applied some powder from my Makeup by Mario palette that includes both the eye primer and powder, and that really helps my eyeshadow glide on even more easily. And this dense flat brush is really a good one to use when you want to get a lot of product applied over a larger area. Next, I'll take the lavender shade called Giggle, and I'm going to apply that in my crease and slightly above my crease because of my hooded eyes. And this is a shade Giggle, which is a gorgeous lavender. I love this shade. I do have a soft spot for purples and lavenders, and I know a lot of you do too. And a second coat just to get this a little bit deeper, especially on the outer part of my crease. And you can see how easily these blend in, especially using the powder as a base. It really makes a difference. But these eyeshadows are fantastic quality. I almost don't need to use a blending brush, but I will. Next, I'm going to apply the deeper shade called Signs onto my outer lid as well as my outer crease area. This is the shade Signs, and there's an even deeper purple to the right of that called Bewitch, but I'm just going to go with Signs for the time being. And I'm using this little angled brush because it works so well in the crease area. I'll show you. You can put it on with the flat side and then flip it around and put it up into the crease. It works really well. So I'm using the flat part just on the outer edge of my eyes. This is a Real Techniques brush, by the way, which is called their Instapop brush. And unfortunately, I don't think they're still making it, but I think it can still be found on the internet. Now, as you saw, I'm using it flat here on the outer part, and then I'm flipping it over to get into the crease. And I have very deep set eyes, so I really need to work to get into that crease totally. And as you can see, I'm definitely going to need to do some blending after I apply this deeper shade. And I'm going a little higher with the deeper color on the outer part, and this helps lift my eyes. Time to do some blending. And I definitely have to be using a magnifying mirror, especially when I'm doing work on my eyes. It makes such a difference. Heaven knows what this eyeshadow would look like if I were not using a magnifying mirror. I imagine some of you feel the same way. And actually, the magnifying mirror in my studio is not as high a magnification as in my bathroom. So sometimes I'm a little concerned when I have done a look and then I go back and look at the other magnifying mirror, which is a higher magnification. I want to make sure there's not an obvious starting point on my lid, so I'm going to blend that a little bit more. Okay, we're getting there. And I'm going to take a shade called Oh My God, which is from the Glamlite palette, which is this beautiful shimmery lavender. And I'm going to pop that onto the center of my eyelids. And here's that shade. It is stunning. And it's just going to go in the middle, just to give a little brightness to the middle. Taking just a little bit more of that Cream and Sugar shade from the Blends palette from Blend Bunny. And this is going to go just on this inner corner of the eye. And again, I don't want there to be an obvious stop and start point to that shimmer color, so I'm blending the white into that edge. Now, if I were creating an evening look or a special event look, I might go even a little bit darker on the outer lid and the outer corner of my eye, but this is just a daytime look and I want to keep it pretty soft. I also want to take just a little bit of this white underneath the arch of my brow just to lift that eye area. I'll be applying the eyeliner and mascara off camera in just a few minutes, so let's now move on to the face. I'm going to combine a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury's Flawless Filter in shade 2 into my Kosas foundation, which is shade Light Cool 150, to give my face just a little bit of a satin finish. This is what the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter looks like by itself. Just mixing those two together and then dabbing on. And I'm just going to push it in slightly first with my brush. And then I'm going to blend out. What I love about this Kosas foundation is it's so lightweight feeling. You know, there are some foundations, and I'm sure you've experienced this, where you just can't wait to take them off at the end of the day. But this is not one of them. And this is also pretty darn long wearing. I don't have any problems with this oxidizing over the day. And I think you can see that the Flawless Filter is giving this a little bit of a satin look, more of a dewy look, which is the kind of finish that I like in my foundations. I always have to be careful not to add too much, because then it goes from being a dewy look to an oily look, which is really not what I want to achieve. Sometimes when I edit the video, I can see far better if I've missed any places than I can when just looking in this mirror. So hopefully I have not missed any places. And bring it down on my neck a little bit further and onto my ears just a bit. For color correcting today on my dark circles under my eyes, I'm going to use Becca's Under Eye Brightening Corrector and then pat a very small amount of a brightening concealer over it. And that Becca product is now made by Smashbox, as I'm sure most of you are aware. This is the light shade of the Becca Brightener. And because I want to be pretty precise with this, I'm going to apply it just on the dark circle area with a pointed brush, which gives me a lot more control over where it ends up. And then I'm just going to press it in with my finger. And because this is sort of a peachy color, it really color corrects those purpley blue under eye circles. This product also has a wonderfully light texture. Then I'm taking a little bit of my Clinique Even Better Concealer, tapping it on over some age spots, which are still standing out a bit, although the Kosas foundation really does provide some good coverage. And I'm also going to just tap a little bit of that over this area. And I'm just pressing the concealer in, not rubbing it, because I want it to maintain a good amount of coverage. I'm always impressed by how well this foundation covers while also feeling really lightweight on the skin. That is not something that's easy to achieve. And I'm taking just a little bit of this Kosas Cloud Set pressed powder and just really just pressing it in, just so my concealer stays in place and doesn't move. I'm also going to put a little bit of that concealer around my lips to help prevent lipstick feathering later on. This Clinique concealer comes in a lot of different shades, so it's really easy to get a very close shade match. I keep going back to my favorite contour product, which is Huda Beauty's Cream Tantour in the shade Light. The top of this actually unscrews, and then there's a cap that keeps the product from drying out. I'm also using the Huda Beauty brush. What I love about this is it's double-ended, so you can use the small end to do some precise work where you want to place the product, and then you can use the larger end to blend. And I just love the color of this, works especially well for me. Gives just a little bit of definition to my face without it looking really dark and heavy. Then it's going to go on my jawline to help prevent that jowly look, at least a little bit. And that gets blended around and then down. Now I need a little powder to calm down my T-zone area. It's a little too shiny for my liking. And that really does the trick. This is Laura Mercier translucent pressed powder. It's beautiful. It's my go-to powder. For blush and highlight, I'm going to grab my Rare Beauty Stay Vulnerable blush in Nearly Neutral and my Charlotte Tilbury highlighter in the color Spotlight. This is a cream blush from Rare Beauty. And what I love about this Nearly Neutral shade is it goes with just about anything. So I'm dipping my brush into it and I'm just going to pounce a little bit on the middle part of my cheekbone. I actually usually like to start at my temple and work down because I have the most product at the beginning. And that way I don't get too much product in the center of my face. And just apply a little bit more. I also like to bring it up here just to make the whole look a little more cohesive. I'm just going to add another layer just for a little bit stronger color. Now I actually wish I had a lavender toned blush. And I don't, but Rare Beauty actually makes one, and that's on my list for the big Sephora sale coming up. So that is one of the things I'm really looking forward to purchasing. And here is the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter, which has a sponge tip applicator. And as I'm sure some of you know, sponge tip applicators are not my favorite means of application. I'm going to take my sponge and I'm just going to blend that in slightly. What I like about this Charlotte Tilbury product is the unusual highlight color. It's different from anything else I have. I don't quite know how to describe it. It's kind of a rose gold, I guess. You can see there. I'm just putting this on the top of my cheekbones. So I like to put just a little dab here, and on my Cupid's bow. To make sure it's thoroughly blended in so I don't have streaks. They're obvious. I'll be applying my Huda Beauty lipstick over a matte lipstick and then my Sephora gloss in the shade Wild, which is a gorgeous lavender sparkle. In fact, let me go ahead and swatch this gloss for you since I don't think I've ever used it in a previous video. I don't know how well this color is going to show up, but maybe you can see a little bit of the lavender sparkle. As you can see, that gloss really lightens up the lipstick and gives a nice shine. And my final face step before applying eyeliner and mascara off camera is my Hourglass setting powder. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I am absolutely obsessed with this product. I'm taking the two finishing powders and just going all over my face. And this just brings everything together. The setting powders are the two shades, the lightest one in the middle on the top and then the one to the left of it. And now I'm going to use the bronzer on the lower left and also combine the two blushes. And by using a little bit of powder over the cream products, it helps the cream products stay on longer. Layering is always a good thing if you want to keep your products on longer. And again, just bringing a little bit of that blush up. Now it's off to do eyeliner and mascara and the under eye shadow, and I'll be right back. So this is the final lavender tone look to complement my gorgeous silk blouse from LILYSILK. I hope you enjoyed today's combination of a little fashion and makeup, and if so, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe before you leave. Until next Thursday, I wish you good health and happiness and send you very warm wishes for a fabulous rest of your day. Take care.